David Bosse is the Deputy Campaign Manager for Trump-Pence. He joins us live today.
Thanks for having me.
You bet, Kristen. Thank you very much. So what do you think?
Oh, I think this is an amazing time for Donald Trump taking his message to all Americans, and we're having a great time with our positive message of hope, growth, opportunity for all Americans. Donald Trump said it many, many times. He wants to be president of all Americans, and we're looking forward to Election Day.
Mm-hmm. I've been watching some of your live events. One thing's consistent. You start with Obamacare, and then you go to the emails. Why do you think that Obamacare resonates more? What are you seeing?
You know, the American people have always wanted to talk about the substance of the issues. And we have been saying, Mr. Trump's been saying for a year and a half that he wants to repeal and replace Obamacare, that's going to be his #1 signature issue, to get that off the backs of the American people and make American health care great again. And what we've seen is through our events across the country, Mr. Trump's been traveling extensively over the last several months. We've seen the American people just respond to that issue, and that's why we're talking about the issues. Obviously, the FBI issue is a big one, but the American people care about what's affecting them on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
Wow. All right. Chicago Tribune is not supporting Hillary Clinton through all of this, even though she conveniently says Chicago's her hometown. It's the hometown of President Barack Obama. This is what the columnist wrote. Think of a nation suffering a bad economy and continuing chaos in the Middle East, and now also facing a criminal investigation of a president. The best thing would be for Democrats to ask her to step down. It would be the most responsible thing to do if the nation were more important to them than power. And the American news media, fairly or not firmly identified in the public mind as Mrs. Clinton's Political Action Committee, should begin demanding it. What's your reaction?
Yeah, that's columnist John Cass.
Look, those are not friends of Mr. Trump's either, right? They're not. We look at the Chicago Trib and are shocked by that. Look, what they're saying is another 4 years of Clinton investigations. They lived through the 90s, where one investigation after the other of the corruption that was the Clinton White House from 1993 to 2000, and they just don't want to see it again. And they're seeing issues like this with Jim Comey this past week that's raising that bar for them, and I think that they're bringing up an issue that the Democrats need to consider seriously.
You know, David, there have been 3 big October surprises in your favor. WikiLeaks, you had the Affordable Care Act, which you talked about with Brian just a moment ago, and now James Comey. That could explain how, in the very latest Washington Post ABC poll, Hillary Clinton's 12-point lead has evaporated in less than a week. Right now, they are neck and neck. Also, I was reading this morning, according to the New York Times, Donald Trump is up by 4 in Florida. Why is it that people who have been on the fence seem to be going your guys' way?
This is exciting. This is what we've always been hoping and planning for in this campaign. Mr. Trump's message to Republicans is really resonating, and to independents is really resonating. And that's who are coming home to Mr. Trump's candidacy, and that's why we're seeing this lift in the polls in the last few days.
I am surprised, personally, that you're in New Mexico and Michigan, not North Carolina and Pennsylvania. What's going on?
Well, we're in Pennsylvania and Florida as well. We're going to be in Florida tomorrow. We're in Pennsylvania later this week. We're in Pennsylvania tomorrow.
What are you seeing in Michigan?
But what we're seeing is polls tightening. We've had 3 polls here just in the last few days that show us within the margin of error in Michigan. We're excited to be able to bring our message there, and Mr. Trump's doing some great events there later today. We look at New Mexico, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and others as an opportunity for us to expand our map, to be on offense this last week. And Mrs. Clinton, while in between naps, is really trying to is being on the defensive and constricting. Look, she's having to protect her areas instead of expand.
She wants you to let go. She says, "I want to see those emails, James Comey." Do you feel the same way?
Look. That's a defensive posture.
But do you want to see those emails too?
Brian, of course we want to see them, but she also knows she's able to say that because James Comey is not able to provide them. She's demanding something that is not possible under our current system.
Because then it makes it look like she's saying, I didn't do anything wrong, I want to see these emails, bring them out, let's make them public.
We all want to see transparency, when in fact, she and Huma Abedin know exactly what's in those
and they
emails.
could release
and they could release them.
And the FBI has already said they will not be releasing these. They will not complete this investigation before the election.
Of course not. This is going to take months, and that's why we as all Americans are concerned about electing somebody who is going to be in such have such criminal problems as president.
David, for the FBI director to come out on Friday and do what he did, what does that suggest to you is in this 650,000 email cache?
You know, it's interesting. I've worked in investigations, as you guys know, for a long, long time. This is very serious because no FBI director 12 days before the general election for President of the United States is going to take that action unless he or she has seen evidence that has requires this type of action.
Risen to the level.
It has to have breached the level in which his senior leadership at the FBI demanded action, and I think he relented to his senior leadership.
Do you believe there's something going on in the FBI that forced him to do that? Within the FBI?
Look, but this happens in every case. Because people come to you and say, we need to do this, and they make arguments. He was clearly convinced that there were possible crimes here by the candidate and her top aides. Look, let's not forget, 5 of her aides received immunity. These people have. This is an octopus. This investigation.
And no one is to blame
complicated.
but Hillary, right? Because you've got Harry Reid that's blaming James Comey. James Comey is investigating her email.
Sure. Absolutely. Harry Reid just you know, look, I mean, Harry Reid's a political hack who's on his way out, so he has nothing to lose. He's not running for re-election, and quite honestly, thankfully. But these Democrats will do anything to try and muddy the waters, and we just need to let the FBI do their job.
All right. David Bosse, we thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Good to see you
It's
guys.
an exciting 8 days.
We should point out we did invite folks from the Hillary campaign, and they have declined to appear on the program.